Good God, this video is out late, but let's just do it. You can thank my family for pretty much booking our vacation for the entire month of July for the reason that this video is out late. You can tell because my face is burnt like crazy. So again guys, I am sorry for posting this video so late. I just couldn't upload any videos at my cottage. It was just taking up way too much data. Today I'm not going to be talking about every free agent signing. I'm just going to be talking about the big ones and some of the ones that I personally want to talk about. First, let's talk about the men who got an average annual salary of $6 million a season. That's right, men. 4 to be exact. First, let's talk about Milan Lucic, who signed a 7-year, $42 million contract with the Edmonton Oilers. And if you don't remember, I called that back when I did the Edmonton Oilers offseason plan video. But, to be honest, I don't think I was the only one calling that. The Peter Chiarelli to Milan Lucic connection has always been there. The Edmonton Oilers have needed a player like Lucic. This is a great fit. I give the Edmonton Oilers full credit for this one. They went out there and got the guy they wanted, and I think Milan Lucic is going to be an amazing fit for the Edmonton Oilers. Then there's David Backes, who signed a 5-year, $30 million contract with the Boston Bruins. Here's a funny story. I was pretty much in my car the entire day of July 1st on my way to my vacation, and I was listening to the signings on the radio. When the David Backes trade got announced, at least on the radio, it was reported to be a 1-year contract. And for a good 10 to 15 minutes in my car, I was just wondering, why would he take a 1-year contract? But that got all cleared up very quickly, and he is a member of the Boston Bruins for the next 5 seasons. And now you look at the Boston Bruins' top 3 centers, you got Patrice Bergeron, David Krejci, and David Backes. Holy crap. Next, we have Loui Eriksson, who signed a 6-year, $36 million contract with the Vancouver Canucks. Because I'm guessing the Vancouver Canucks are still in a win-now mode. Why they are, though, I don't really know. It's weird, one day Jim Benning will go out there and be like, our team's focus is getting younger and for the future. Then the next day he's like, we are 100% in a win-now scenario. It's just going to make me say this again, I'm not sure if the Vancouver Canucks know which direction they want to go in. But Loui Eriksson makes this team better today than they were the last game of the regular season. I'm not sure if he's going to be good enough to make this team a playoff team, but maybe they'll be competing for a playoff spot near the end of the season. The last player to get a $6 million annual average salary is Kyle Okposo. He signed a 7-year, $42 million contract with the Buffalo Sabres. And I really think the Buffalo Sabres might be in the playoffs next year. They're improving very fast. Kyle Okposo with Jack Eichel can be a very good combination. But now let's talk about some of the other contracts I found pretty interesting, starting with James Reimer signing with the Florida Panthers a 5-year, $17 million contract. He probably won't be the starter this season, maybe even next season, but Luongo doesn't have a ton of life in him. Eventually, James Reimer will be the starter in Florida. James Reimer pretty much lived off of short-term contracts with the Toronto Maple Leafs, so it's really good to see him get a long-term contract with another organization. And I really hope that Leafs Nation gives James Reimer a standing ovation when the Florida Panthers come to play the Leafs at the ACC, and I really hope Florida starts in that game too. Andrew Ladd signed a 7-year, $38.5 million contract with the New York Islanders. In my opinion at least, Kyle Okposo and Andrew Ladd are pretty much identical players, so I don't really think the Islanders got a ton better with this acquisition, but I don't think they got a lot worse either. Eric Staal signed with the Minnesota Wild on a 3-year, $10.5 million contract. I absolutely love this contract for the Minnesota Wild. Eric Staal definitely isn't the player he used to be. He can still pot 15, maybe even 20 goals, and the Minnesota Wild needs some offense. He's a good veteran player, and he didn't cost them that much. Dale Weiss to the Philadelphia Flyers on a 4-year, $9.5 million contract. I heard some rumblings around July 1st that Dale Weiss might be going back to the Montreal Canadiens, but the Philadelphia Flyers snagged him up. He'll be a great fit for their organization. He plays a strong two-way game, and he can chip in 10 to 15 goals a season, a guy that the Philadelphia Flyers needed. Dan Hamhuis signs with the Dallas Stars a 2-year, $7.5 million contract. Obviously, Dan Hamhuis did not want to leave Vancouver, but he signs with Dallas, and Dallas is really far away from Vancouver, so it kind of makes me question if all those rumblings around trade deadline, if he wouldn't accept a trade to a team like Dallas, maybe all those were lies. But in all honesty, we're never going to know. Then my Maple Leafs did something on July 1st that wasn't trading away Phil Kessel. They signed grinder Matt Martin to a 4-year, $10 million contract. Now yes, $2.5 million a season for a guy who relatively is a fourth-line player is a lot of money, but as fourth-line players come in this league, he might be one of the best. He's one of the league's best hitters. He's led the league in hits over the past few seasons. He's actually a very underrated skater, and he can score a few goals. Plus, he's a great character guy. He's a guy you want on your bench, and he'll stick up for players on the ice. The Leafs don't have a lot of big, tough, strong guys, so he brings something that the Leafs need. Thomas Vanek signs the exact same contract, 4 years, $10 million, but with the Detroit Red Wings. Detroit needed guys who can score goals, and Thomas Vanek will score them goals. Vanek isn't one of the league's best defenders, and because of that, I really thought he was going to get a 1 or 2 year contract, but Detroit believes in him enough to give him a 4-year contract, so good for Vanek for getting a long-term contract. This one I do like. Bodker going to the San Jose Sharks for 4 years, $16 million. San Jose was obviously the slower team in the Stanley Cup Finals. They needed to add some speed, and they do that by adding Bodker. Bodker's never really been able to play a full season with great teammates. He might be able to do that in San Jose. Maybe he hits the 25 goal mark, maybe even the 30 goal mark. Now I'm going to end this video off by talking about probably my 2 least favorite signings. The first of those bad signings just happened the other day. The Detroit Red Wings re-signed Danny DeKeyser, who was an RFA, to a 6-year, $30 million contract. That's a lot of term for a guy who, in my opinion, hasn't proven to be an everyday top 4 defenseman. And $30 million, I mean, the Detroit Red Wings must be thinking that this guy isn't even close to his max potential. And I'm pretty sure that somewhere in there's a no-trade clause of some sort. But in my opinion, that's not even the worst contract of the summer, no. The worst contract of the summer goes to the Montreal Canadiens, signing Alexander Radulov to a 1-year, $5.75 million contract. Alexander Radulov is almost making as much as Kyle Okposo, Andrew Ladd, Milan Lucic, and Louis Eriksson. Like, I don't even know where to begin. First of all, Marc Bergevin. You're trying to add character to this team. That's probably why you trade away PK Subban for Shea Weber, to add character. Alexander Radulov is probably the exact opposite of a good character player. Second of all, you had $5.75 million you were obviously willing to spend for a goal scorer. There were so many better options. So many. Do you mean to tell me that you couldn't have kicked in an extra $500,000 to try to outbid the Buffalo Sabres for Kyle Okposo? Thank God for Marc Bergevin that it's only a 1-year contract. Maybe they can escape with 1 year of Alexander Radulov. Because if that was a 3 or 4 year contract, that's the type of signing that can get Marc Bergevin fired. They tried this game with Alexander Semin the other year, and that didn't work. Why are they trying it again with a guy like Alexander Radulov for way more money than they gave Alexander Semin? Now me, as a Leafs fan, I will admit I laughed so hard when I heard about this signing. Because as hockey fans in general, it sometimes humors us to see our rivals make such bad decisions, and this one was just horrible. If I was a GM, 3.5. 3.5 is the absolute max I would pay Radulov a season, and even to get to 3.5, my assistant GM and my scouts would have to be convincing me for weeks. 5.75 just seems out of this world ridiculous. I have no idea what the Montreal Canadiens were thinking on this one. But that's all the free agent signings I want to talk to you guys about today. Once again, I am very sorry about how late this video is out. Regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed this video on my free agency recap. Please like the video. Please subscribe to my channel. It would mean so much to me. Please like my page on Facebook. It's all about hockey. The link to it is down below. And please email me any questions if you just want to talk hockey to theshanaclan19@gmail.com. And I'll see you guys back here whenever I decide to do another video.